Ah, spring in Idaho. 50-some degrees one day, and the next day you wake up to 2 inches of snow. Howdy everybody, Farmer Dave here with Nelson Creek Farm, welcoming you back to the dungeon here at the farm. Today, we're going to be using some rubbing alcohol, paper towel, and some orange paint. So we are going to start the electrical restoration on the Allis Chalmers B today. So stay tuned. What we're going to do today is, what I'm going to start working on is rubbing this part of the starter motor down with some rubbing alcohol to remove any oils and stuff on there so I can squirt a rattle can of orange paint on that. I'm not going to do down in here. That area can stay black, and this area here and here need to be bare metal for the grounding of the starter motor into the chassis. So we'll have to make sure that that is also cleaned up on the inside of that housing. Now the guys are kind enough right here to stamp 12 volt on it, 12V. So I don't know if that was something new that they just did or if it already was 12 volts, to be honest with you. But the way it was acting, I'm pretty sure it was a 6 volt starter that had not been converted. I am kind of cleaning up this front area here, so if a little bit of overspray gets on there, that's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. And this isn't a finish coat of paint like it would be if I was restoring the tractor. This is just, like I said a minute ago, just to make the thing orange. Yeah. That'd be good enough for a rattle can paint job. How is it that your local street department has enough asphalt to make speed bumps, but yet they don't ever seem to have enough to fill the potholes? If you ask me, it sounds like a government job. Yeah. Alright, I've got the copper contact on the top of the starter where the starter on-off switch attaches to wrapped with just some tape. I don't have the blue fancy painter's tape because I don't do this all that often, but I do have masking tape. So I taped off those two bands that are machined, that are here and here, that don't have any paint on them already, just to keep them clean so we can touch them up just a little bit for a good ground contact. But yeah, we've got the whole thing wiped down now with alcohol, and I'm going to squirt some primer or paint on it. I'm not going to prime it, but I'm going to start on the back side over here. Gloss real orange on the barcode there. I don't know if you can pick that out or not, but yeah, that's what I've been using on my Allis Chalmers tractors when I just do a little touch up here or there, or put a coat of paint on the inside of a rim or whatever to keep it from rusting. So I've got this shaken up pretty well now, and we're going to start squirting real easy. I'm going to just hit real light here on the back side. I am doing the part where that mounts up to the back of the bell housing just a little bit, because you can see that just a little bit after it's mounted on the machine. But yeah, we're just giving it a real light coat of rattle can. Nothing fancy here. What a difference a few days makes here at the farm in southern Idaho. It is now February 21st. And even the old willow tree over there is starting to get some yellow on it, meaning life is coming back here to the farm again for the spring. Welcome back to the farm, everybody. It is now February 21st, 2024, the paint, the single layer of paint or single coat that I put on the starter is now dried. Now it's time to install it, plus do a little other tinkering on the machine. So let's jump right into it and we'll show you what's going on. Well, this is what it looks like sitting here on the tailgate of the little pickup. I did get a little bit of runny paint on the two bare metal pieces here. I'll clean that off here in a minute with a wire brush. And got a little bit overspray up on the sides of the button, but it's the top is where that matters. But what I've already done today off camera are that hole right there and that one right there are the mounting screw holes for the starter button assembly that goes on there. And I've cleaned those out, and now I'm going to take a wire brush on the end of a drill and clean out that little hole where that tapered bolt and its stop nut or jam nut goes into. Kind of clean up that a little bit in there. Yep. Yeah, not so easy to do single-handed. Now that that's done, let's run it down to the barn and install it. Hey y'all, here's a bit of advice for you. Should you see a toilet while you're dreaming, I strongly recommend and urge you not to use that toilet. Yeah. No, don't use it. Alrighty. That's a light little buffing and clean up right there. Now that hole's good to insert the starter. You can see now I have the starter switch mounted to the top of the starter. The starter has kind of been installed part way. The holes are lining up just fine, so all I got to do is finish pushing it in. But first I'm going to take this tapered bolt that holds the starter in place and the nut apart and take them to the wire wheel over in the shop. Get them cleaned up nice and shiny so they make a good electrical contact, because this is part of the system that grounds the starter to the housing of the tractor for good electrical contact or yeah, behavior. Ha! Well, I think that bolt cleaned up nicely. It's got a little bit of shine there on the end where it's tapered. Kind of hard to see it in this bad lighting here in the shop, but even the threads are shiny, so we should have good ground contact now. Now we'll finish wiggling this into place, about like there. Alrighty, I've got the bolt here with the tapered end on it lined up to go in that hole, and we will stuff it in there and see if we can get it to seat in that opening on the starter itself. Yeah, we'll screw that in there and cinch it up. Yeah, push the starter in just a hair too far. That's to be expected. Okay, that's in good and tight. Let's check this packing nut here, or the jam nut, and make sure it's tight. That'll prevent the bolt from backing out and help assist with the electrical connection in the ground. Tighten up my finger. Yeah, that's good right there. One of the next things I'm going to need to do is find a different 12-volt battery that will fit in that box. This one's actually sitting in there sideways. It needs to be lengthwise this way to fit in the box correctly. Yeah, in a smaller group. I think if I remember right, it's like a group 26 or something like that. Use the same one in the Farmall Super M, and I believe that one would fit in there. So that's on the to-do list, along with talking to the Brillman Company this afternoon about what alternator and wiring combination I need for this tractor to complete the electrical system in it. And then later on down the line, we'll get some new headlights and put on it and wire those in, and even a tail light. More than just a little round bullet-shaped deal with the red lens. We'll actually put a work light on the back end of this tractor, make it a little bit more useful. One of the other things I'm going to do today is take care of these seat backs. It's supposed to be up about like that. They're pretty loose and wobbly, which affects the linkage right here for the PTO. You can see it bobbing around. So I need to go get some square-headed bolts to put in these holes here and over here for the backrest of this little tractor, and we'll get that put up. So I'll run to the hardware store and we'll get that bit done. Okay, now why am I fooling with all these little projects right now? Well, like the seat backs. That is something I can do today. It's just a couple of bolts and nuts and some washers. I can get that done today, and as soon as I get done talking to Brillman and get that stuff here, then we're going to fire up the little tractor, back it out, and put a new alternator wiring kit on the tractor. And then I got to get this loader off of it and get the 3-point hitch thing put on the back end of it. Plus, I've just got a ton of other things to do. We still have to have the irrigation pump rebuilt for this coming season. It does leak a little bit. I do need to put in a pumpkin patch, gourds, Indian corn or glass corn as it's called, and then we're going to be planting a bunch of sweet corn to make a corn maze. And on top of all of that, I have yet to buy a drum mower and a hay baler for the farm. I've got to start getting into some hay production to offset my loss in income when I take my early retirement. So I've got a ton of things that I cannot afford to put off any longer that I gotta have done now. So even though the weather's bad, I'm still out here arguing with stuff, trying to get it put together and get it running. So that's why the push. Now, while I have 3.5 years or so yet to go before I take my early retirement, there's a lot of things that I need to get done while I still have that full-time in-town job paycheck coming. One of them is buy the new baler, drum mower that I've been eyeing. And as you can see behind me, the buildings need paint. The garage needs a new roof on it. The old white farm truck needs brake lights and dash lights put into it. Plus it needs an entire new exhaust system and heaven only knows what else. The front end supposedly needs to be rebuilt again. I think it's just a loose wheel bearing assembly. The little daily driver I have, the little gold pickup, the parking brake on it, if you use that, you push it down, lock it in so the truck doesn't roll when you're not in it. It won't release the brakes. So there's a spring broken or something there. So that's got to go in and get fixed along with the irrigation pump and a few other hosts of things. So yeah, we're going to be pushing real hard and heavy when I get minutes of nice weather like we've got right this minute. Rain clouds coming, it's snowed up on the hills again. So yeah, anyway, on we roll. And the next video, I think if the weather's nice, I'll be attacking the irrigation pump for the garden project and a few other things. So make sure you stay tuned. Lots of stuff coming up. As always, I'm Farmer Dave here at Nelson Creek Farm. Wishing you well. Thank you to the new subscribers. And if you all could, please just subscribe. You don't even have to watch the videos. I just like to have the subscribers. I'd like to be up around 700 or so by the end of March, and only you can make that happen for me. Anyway, we will catch up with you all later, and you all have a good one. Bye-bye for now.